You're listening to the Crack It Cold podcast. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Crack It Cold, where you can find other creative media projects.
There was this Uber that was waiting to pick someone up, and our Uber was nowhere to be found. And we just asked this lady, we were like, hey, listen, can we just pay you to drive us home? And she was like, well, where do you need to go? And we were like, downtown near IUPUI. And we just up and paid her $40, and she ditched whoever she was supposed to pick up.
Are you serious?
And drove us home.
The Uber
Dude,
driver?
I don't remember that at all.
You don't remember that?
No.
That's what Ricky was asking us money for.
So we just randomly went and like
We gave this chick $40.
cash, just like here's $40.
I think Ricky Venmo'd her. He was like,
Okay.
do you have Venmo? And she was like, yeah. And so we just Venmo'd her 40, and she just said that her ride never, or her
That's awesome.
passengers never came.
That
We
is
just hopped
awesome.
in.
The boys are back. It's a good feeling, I'm not going to lie. There's an elephant in the room. We did not, we split up a little for a while there.
We done did.
People were asking, where is Brendan Wheat? Where is this man? He was gone. The truth is, he's back now. We're here.
That's
we
all
are.
that matters.
Crack It Cold
We're back,
returns
baby. We're back.
fully. And I hope you guys enjoy this episode because it's a long time coming.
What you been up to, Willard? How's life treating you?
Not
Been
gonna
good?
lie, since I'm getting ready to move, I have cleared my calendar a lot. So I just did my last week with the NBA 2K League. So I've really just been trying to, prepare myself, apply to jobs in South Carolina. I'm taking a summer class right now.
Are you ready? Like, are you ready for the move? Do you feel like mentally prepared?
I'm ready. Go
The
Gamecocks. I got the Gamecock shirt on. I'm ready. I've been looking for some jobs. I've emailed some people down there that might be able to connect me with some things that I'll be interested in.
I'm sad, dude. I'm sad to see you go. Not to get sentimental on the pod, but like, fuck, getting ready to leave. I mean, I'm excited for you too. Like, I know this is gonna be like a good thing for you, and like, but I've known you for 12 years. Like, I've been around you almost my entire life.
Yeah. Right.
And it's weird. Like, it's weird seeing one of your best buddies go, but like at the same time, like, life happens. You know what I mean? Like, things happen. You move on, go to better things. But I know Indy will always represent something special to all of us, especially. But
The old
at the
317.
same time, 317. But like at the same time, like, it's almost exciting for me as like one of your friends to like see you at least venture out of, because like you're the first one of my buddies, like between all of us, to kind of go out and like try to do that in a different state, which is cool. Like, I'm excited for you. Like, genuinely, I'm excited.
Thank you.
to see you go.
No, I appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot.
Well, we might make our way down to South Carolina a couple times this year, too. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
What's the game that we're thinking about? Isn't Georgia,
Right?
Yeah, Georgia game.
That's
That's
at
one of the
South
first
Carolina.
ones, though. Actually, I'll have to look up the schedule again, but it's actually one of the first games of the year. I know they'll be playing in Kentucky, and I think Vanderbilt maybe even.
Yeah, because we're
Which are
thinking
some-
Nashville, dude.
Yeah, which are some good
Yeah.
like meeting spots. We could, I could hit the road. You guys could come watch a game.
Yeah, I mean, I know I personally at least have several college football games on the agenda for me this year. I know my Fighting Illini play the Hoosiers in week 1.
About to mess them up, cuz that should be a good game, actually.
I think
I
we're
don't know
gonna
how good
both
Illinois
be
is at
pretty
football.
bad.
Like a good bad game. Like,
yeah, it's gonna be competitive.
yeah,
from
like that's what I'm saying. Like,
Two
I think
teams towards the bottom of the
Right,
barrel,
yeah.
but
maybe I misinterpreted the meaning of a good game, but like I think it'll
Yeah.
be it'll be close. We'll say it'll be close.
I think it'll be fun. There will be a lot at stake. Money, pride, beers.
Beers, yeah.
One thing I think is really wild is just all the conferences, and lately, people are trying to add teams to the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Which to me, I mean, the Big Ten, the Big 12. What's next? Big 16. I don't know. Like they just keep adding teams, and a lot of that is to do with they're not getting enough money, and the NIL deals are also a factor in that. So I think a lot of athletes are getting money, which is essentially losing money for the conferences. So they're trying to expand and get more. I don't know what you guys think about any of that.
I mean, like, personally, I think it's pretty cool that 2, like, California teams are coming to, like, the Midwest. And I think it'll probably give, like, teams like Illinois, IU, Purdue, like, those teams, like, more, like, clout, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Because we'll be networked on, like, all the big – like, when USC plays IU, I mean, obviously we're not that good, but that'll probably be, like, telemarketed on, like, ABC or, like, TNT. Like, so, you know, like, bigger networks. And, like, I think it's cool that Big Ten teams – because, like, originally they're coming from the Big – or Pac-12 or Big 12 or whatever. And, like, those teams usually, like, they play at, like, 10 o'clock at night, like 7, you know, they play later because of time difference. So I feel like that'll be interesting, too, to kind of see how that, like, teams adjust. And it just kind of adds, like, a whole new element of the game to, like, both teams. And, like, USC and UCLA, I know, like, Oregon and other schools were thinking of coming, too. But especially those two, like, those are 2 big-time schools and programs. So I don't know. Like, I think it's cool, like, to expand and just kind of see how the Big Ten plays out. But, I mean, especially basketball, because, like, USC is like, they've been pretty good the last few years, but, like, I don't know. Like, it'll be good.
I mean, UCLA is perennial. You know, like
Yeah.
UCLA is almost always good at basketball. Right. And I think, personally, I've talked about this, like, I think we kind of lucked out. Because a lot of this is centered around football. Like, obviously, IU is a very good basketball brand. I like to think Illinois is a pretty good basketball brand.
Yeah.
But a lot of these deals and moves are being focused around college football. What can your football program bring with Oklahoma and Texas going to SEC? And I honestly think that we lucked out that the Big Ten is one of the conferences absorbing teams. Because if the Big Ten was falling apart, I don't know what kind of shape our teams would be in. We might be homeless as far as conferences go.
That's a really good point. I mean, you'd rather it be growing than dwindling away. Because I have to be honest, I think that the more and more like stuff like this is happening, this could be a bad thing because you start to see that college football is starting to become more and more like the NFL. I mean, right now in the NFL you have AFC, NFC, Super Bowl. And you know, as these conferences get bigger and you're starting to see teams from California travel to the Midwest, what does that do to a student athlete? Because these are student athletes. And now they're starting to be treated more like NFL players. I mean, they're getting NIL deals. They can actually make money now. They can, you know, legally be paid to go to a school. And now they're traveling all this distance when they have classes and stuff like that. So, you know, at what point do you draw the line for these student athletes and, you know, is it becoming more like the NFL?
Well, I think that's really tough for particularly – I'm not going to bash on the SEC or anything like that, but the Big Ten is a rather highly touted academic conference. Like, a lot of the schools in here they pride themselves on academics. They have very good schools, high GPAs. And, I mean, the students have to put in the work. Like, you know, there's not this – I know there are players from the past that have been known to have, you know, basically pay off kids to take their classes for them, do online classes, stuff like that. But for conferences with higher academic standards, and like if Notre Dame were to join in, or Stanford from California, if they were to join the Big Ten, that's a lot of pressure on those students with such high academic expectations too. Mm-hmm.
But I feel like as a fan, like, you don't even think about that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, as a fan of just college football, you're just like, perform. Like, go out and throw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah. Like, you don't even think about – and probably, honestly, most of those guys don't even really care. Like, they're probably just taking what they can. I mean, I'm sure, like obviously, what percent of college football players actually make it to the NFL? Like, maybe, like, it's got to be less than, like, 10%, 20% maybe. Maybe higher. But at the same time, like, as a college student, like, most of those guys probably aren't going to make it to the NFL, which – a lot of people don't think of, and maybe those conferences don't think of it either. But I mean, like you guys said, I'm curious to see how it plays out. But I think it's a good thing to expand rather than diminish, and like just see where the Big Ten can go. Because I think like the SEC in terms of like college football, you have the Big Ten and SEC. Like that's just how it is. Unfortunately, like it's not like basketball where there's like you have 64 teams that go into a tournament. And then they all play out in like a week. Like there's 4 teams that make it to the CFP. Yeah. And then all, you know, it's always, typically it's always SEC or Big Ten teams. So.
Well, and I was telling Brendan the other day, I mean, is it dangerous to do this? like make these power conferences, and the CFP, rather than dealing with the bowl games, starts dealing with the conferences, and they make it a true playoff. I mean, everybody's sick and tired of the rankings of just being 4 teams, 4-game playoff to the championship. What if they found a way to actually implement these conferences? Probably the Big Ten and the SEC, because you said it yourself, they're the teams that are always going. So if you choose those 2 conferences, get all these teams in there that, it's going to be a competition. Like, if you want to be, schools are going to be fighting for that spot. Like, because they're going to want to be a part of it. I think there's more money involved. There's probably more money involved for the CFP too, because there's going to be more games, rather than just the 4 bowl games or the 2 bowl games that lead to the championship. So, they get more games, they get more ticket sales. The teams get more games, they get more ticket sales. I don't know, it's
and I mean, on top of that, the bowls are still historic. You can still have the Cotton Bowl, the Peach Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Rose Bowl. Like, those are big games that everyone knows about, and they've got a legacy to them. And those could still be the semifinals and stuff like that leading up into it. But then it does expand the opportunity for endorsements and sponsorships on games that might mean a bit more.
I mean, when's the last time you've watched a bowl game, though? I feel like they're not. I mean, they're historic, but at the same time, they don't really mean anything.
I think it depends on which bowl games you're talking about, because the big New Year's Six bowls, which are the 4 that I listed and then a couple more, I honestly can't think of them off the top of my dome. But the Fiesta Bowl, stuff like that, obviously those are not as big of a deal. That's just an excuse for a sponsorship. But the big New Year's Six bowls, those do have a very it's a big deal to win the Rose Bowl or to win the Peach Bowl. And so,
especially if it leads you to a national championship, right?
Yeah,
because that's where it is right now.
Yeah, I mean, but a lot of times those are I'm pretty sure the Rose Bowl is usually the runner-up of the Big Ten playing the runner-up of the Pac-12. And those games still mean quite a bit. And I know that a lot of people still tune into them.
But, I don't know, man. Imagine being, a quarterback. Let's say you're Spencer Rattler, South Carolina.
Yeah.
He's probably getting, $2 million a year? He's got to be getting up in the upper millions to go there, I would guess. I don't know. But I'm where does your motivation lie for those guys? You know what I mean? I'm already getting paid $2 million. We're sitting here drinking dollar beers, not doing it. I mean, we're poor college kids, and those guys are getting paid.
I mean, hopefully
hundreds of thousands of dollars at least.
Their motivation would be to make it to the NFL.
Yeah,
right?
and
that's
think
what it's
it
always
is.
been before. But you bring up a good point, because now that they're getting paid this much,
it's
what are they going to do?
I think of Conor McGregor. The guy got paid $100 million to fight Floyd Mayweather, and then he went and fought in the UFC, and now he's lost 5 or 6 straight, and now he's is he gonna come back? Is he not gonna come back? But when money comes into play, it just happens. Your motivation just dies, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen that with a lot of fighters, especially. Fighters, once they get their bag, they just kind of dwindle. They don't have that edge to them anymore.
But you can't blame them either. Once you get paid, that's what they're there for.
Yeah.
It's football, especially. Those are both collision sports where you're getting brain damage, you're breaking arms, legs, you name it, and it's with $2 million as a college student, hopefully they have enough, mental awareness or the right people around them to invest or save. But as a college kid, right now, if I got $2 million, who the hell knows what I would do? And I feel that's probably the same with most guys. And but those are big time college recruits, big time players. So who knows?
Is it currently? It's still a requirement to go to college before the NFL.
Yeah,
Right.
not necessarily to go to college, but you have to be 3 years removed from high school.
3 years removed from high school.
But it's not like the NBA where they have a league building up. What if that were to come into play? They build the NBA has the G League, where they basically just develop guys that don't want to go to college.
I mean, to be honest, I feel like that is the better option because, well, maybe not. I mean, I think it's really tough for students to be put in that situation because what's the point of college? To get an education. That is the point of college. And then college sports is just a whole other animal. And so these guys, they need that experience to go to the NFL, right? And then you also have guys who genuinely they want to go to college and they want to play football and they get a full ride, and that's great. That's the American dream right there, being able to do that. I think that's awesome. But you bring like these crazy star athletes, they're not there for an education. Their number one priority is getting to the NFL. So maybe a league like that would work.
I think that would be pretty freaking cool if they could do that, like build like a developmental thing. But at that same time, like college basketball, it kind of takes away from college basketball because you had guys like LaMelo Ball or like big time recruits that might not go to, go to college football, which then takes away, so it's just like I get why they don't do it, but at the same time, and football is not as worldwide. Like it's big in America, but like it hasn't developed towards, like you see guys coming in from like Australia with like rugby backgrounds kind of, but you don't see people in like Africa or like, Europe or, wherever. Like that's just not as worldwide. Like soccer's more the big thing there, I guess. So.
Well, and I think, you can talk about like making a developmental league and stuff like that, but the big pull of college football has nothing to do with the players. It has nothing to do with the talent that's on the field. It's all about the pride in the school that you're on and the school that you're with.
Take that.
Hey, what's up? Hey, bro, you're on the pod right now. I just want to let you know, but what's going on? I can't hear a word. I can't hear a word you're saying.
Are we still going golfing?
Yeah, we're still going. What is it right now? It's 2:35.
Rain or shine, Mr. Detling. Rain or shine.
It's 2:35. I think we just played out.
Yeah. I just got off work. That's why I was asking. I got off early.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we're just sitting here.
And it says it's 56 minutes to get there, so because all the traffic.
Yeah, I would just go straight there if I was you.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just making sure we're all a go here.
Yeah, we're all a go. We're cruising and boozing.
Right.
So.
All right. It's me and you versus them two.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I just figured since we have the same alcoholic drink.
Yeah.
So do I.
Well, you come ready to play?
We're splitting our case, bro.
All I know is if you're not on my team, you're losing. So.
All right, well, bring your damn A game. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, it's on.
All right, brother. Well, I'll see you when we get there then. All right. Ryland Dowling, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I guess Ryland just thinks he's, the commissioner or some shit.
I guess.
I was thinking
I don't
pull
really.
straws.
I would be on a team. That's what I was thinking. We could just.
Yeah. You guys ready to hit the links? Ready to play?
It's gonna be a blast.
I'm excited. I've been waiting for this all week, and of course we get scheduled rain. But
I mean, tonight's really a perfect night. Like today is a perfect day. Like John had a quiz this morning, or a test, or exam. I had to finish an essay. Brendan was working on some stuff, and then here we come. Podcast. Have a couple drinks. We're gonna go to the golf course, and we'll be. I think we're gonna go down to Broad Ripple tonight. It's gonna be fun.
Is that where we're going?
yeah.
Oh fuck. Okay.
That is where we're going. Hey, have you guys seen Stranger Things?
Nope.
Season 4?
I have
Don't
not
ruin it.
seen it.
Look, I'm not going to... I know he's seen parts of it because I've been down here watching it. I will say Stranger Things Season 4 has exceeded my expectations. I mean, I'm not going to, give it too much credit or anything. I've always loved Stranger Things. A lot of people are like, oh, it's overrated, which I used to not think that. But then I think Season 3, I was like, okay. And then Season 4, though,
Solid.
very solid. It's definitely worth your time.
Something I think that we can all agree that we've all seen, that we would all agree is not overrated and exceed our expectations would be a movie represented by the aviators that John's wearing here,
Yes.
TopGun Maverick.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't think I've had a more life-changing experience in a movie theater than that right there.
Dude, that was sick. That's the best movie I've seen in a movie theater in a very long time. I will say, like, especially like since COVID, man. Like, I haven't really been gotten the full experience of like going to the movie theater, getting popcorn, getting a slushie with your boys, and just sitting there watching like the most masculine movie you can imagine. Like testosterone was flowing,
Dude.
It was just like I was in the danger zone, bro. That's literally what it felt like. I was in the danger zone.
After watching Top Gun Maverick, we were in the danger zone for multiple days. I'm telling you, this is the kind of movie that captivates you and keeps you there for the next several days. Like, you just can't forget about it. I mean, we were talking about it. We gave each other call signs after watching this movie. Like, it was just so nostalgic and exciting and BA. I mean, it was badass.
We can let people in the comments guess what our call signs might be.
Yeah. What do you think our call signs are?
I feel like that was just like one of the best movie experiences I've ever had. But like some people just don't get it. Like they just don't. You know what I mean? Like
they don't get what, the movie or the movie experience?
The movie experience. Like as a kid, like our kids will probably never get that, which sucks. Like I wish they would.
So COVID, man.
Once COVID came into play, like movies kind of came down, but then fucking Top Gun, man,
it's wild.
I'm telling you, I think that it saved movie theaters. Like, I mean, I was telling Willy, I actually went and saw it again. I saw it in IMAX.
You've seen it twice.
I've seen it twice.
I want to watch it in IMAX.
Because our watching experience the first time was not pristine.
No.
It wasn't as good as it could have been. We were the very front row of a Regal theater, laying back in the recliners. And as the conversations are going, our heads are swaying like we're in Happy Gilmore. But no, it was seeing it in IMAX, and it was a month after the movie came out, and it was sold out.
Yeah.
The entire theater. And
we were there early too, and we still had to sit in the front row. Like we couldn't even get a good seat.
Yeah, and I think if we get the opportunity, I don't know if it's still in theaters, especially IMAX, but if we get an opportunity to, I think we should see it.
One thing I thought was really neat is at the start of the movie, before it even begins, Tom Cruise comes on and he like explains, he's like, this movie is a lot of work, and he explains how, like, first of all, they use real fighter jets. So these actors and actresses were actually like in the planes, real planes, and then he explains that like they wanted this to be an in-theater experience, and they waited to put it in theaters. They had to wait through COVID before they put it out.
Yeah, and I think it was absolutely the right decision.
Yeah, 100%.
If you were to like sit at home and watch that movie, it just wouldn't be the same. I think, like, in my personal opinion, like what's good about watch movies at home is like you can pause the movie and like go use the bathroom or whatever. But like when you're in a movie theater, like you have to be locked in because you're there for an hour and a half, 2 hours just to watch that movie. Yeah. And so like, especially with Top Gun, man, like I didn't want to leave. Like you just
no way. And I mean, I think considerably. I mean, the theaters have been open for a while now. But this one brought it back. Like this movie forever brought it back. Like it was a statement. Like 20 years from now, when we're talking and we say, man, what was the first movie you saw back in theaters? We're gonna say Top Gun Maverick because it's just the first one we think of.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been other movies, but this one was so significant that it really did bring it back.
Yeah, I think for me at least, like there was a lot of sentimental value to seeing it too. Like knowing that, like they just did everything right. They recreated it. They took their time. They didn't rush it. A lot of sequels are rushed, or they want to get a second one out there, and they don't take their time actually crafting the story. I think the story was so well crafted. It felt like an authentic new movie still.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't help but feel like my dad when he was 16 years old walking out of that movie theater.
That's what I was saying. Like, that movie is generational, man. Like, that, because it extends to, like, our parents, because that came out in, the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, at work, I was talking to, like, this, I mean, I'm guessing she's probably, like, upper 50s, this lady that was wanting to go see it, and I was telling her, like, yeah, like, you got to go see it. And, like, I'm a 21-year-old kid. Like, I didn't even get to experience the original one. But, like, once you go back, and, like, because we watched the first one the night before, and then we went and watched it, and then I talked to her about it, and she was like, yeah, that was badass. Like, that was a good ass movie. And she was like, so it's just like generational. And I wonder like if they'll ever have another movie like that, where like something that comes out now, you know what I mean, to where like it compares to that. But like,
it's so good, man. And I think one of the funniest things about it to me is, well, first of all, I love the story. I love how Rooster, Goose's son, like that's awesome. Miles Teller did a fantastic job. But the other part that I always thought was funny was before this movie even came out, I saw a picture on Instagram of Tom Cruise next to the woman who played Penny in the first one. You know, and Tom Cruise is in his 60s.
Penny.
And he looks great, you know. He looks great. But the girl who originally played Penny did not look the same. Like, you could just tell, you know, she was older and wasn't like as in good of shape as Tom Cruise. So they actually had to change.
Do you want to know a fun story?
Yeah.
That's not supposed to be the original girl that he was with.
It's not.
No.
Okay, so I didn't even know that.
My dad told me this because I didn't know either,
so
right?
Penny's not her name then?
No.
I was wrong.
No,
okay.
But do you know who Penny is? So in the first movie, they talk about Tom Cruise. Maverick has had several instances where he got in trouble with the Navy.
Yeah.
And they said there were 3 flybys and an incident with an admiral's daughter.
Oh.
This was the admiral's daughter.
Okay. That's okay. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
You're blowing my mind. I was so wrong.
So she was cast as the admiral's daughter that he had an incident with way back in the first movie.
Wow. So who is
But
what?
what's her- is
The
her
blonde
name
girl
Penny?
in the first movie. What was her name then? I thought it was Penny.
I don't remember.
I thought
And
that
that's
was
probably
Penny.
disgraceful.
I thought Penny was
But-
supposed to be the same woman.
No,
Oh,
it wasn't.
okay.
It's because they say her last name at one point too. My dad knew like right away. He was like,
did?
"That's the admiral's daughter," and I had no idea. But
Wow.
yeah, I thought that was mind blowing when he knew that. Because I didn't think it was supposed to be the same character, but I didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
That makes a lot. Wait, so how are they the same age still then? Like, is the new girl and the new one like supposed to be?
She's supposed to be a girl that he was with, like when he first in the first
like in
movie.
the first one. Okay, so
Yeah.
they're around the same age. I was about to say if that's like the admiral's daughter, I guess that was like 20 years ago,
All right. I got a question for you guys.
40 years ago.
And I already know what you're going to say. We all know what you're going to say. If you had one beer to drink for the rest of your life and that's it, what are you picking?
Go ahead, give it to him.
You're not wrong. It's Busch Light, obviously.
He's a
can't
Busch
go
Light
against it.
man, born and raised, forever and always. Brendan Wheat, Busch Light man.
The beer of the Midwest.
What about you, John?
Easily Coors Light. Easily, I would say.
Yeah.
Something nostalgic about the rock. Like, it's got the Rockies. The mountains are blue. They came out here. I'll show everybody. Do these have it? Yeah, they've got these little like name things on them. So this one says days. They have one that says like jams, nights, vibes. Like they have all these new like basically little like phrases on there.
Views.
Views. Yeah, that one says views. But like, okay, so here's another topic. Not to throw off this topic, but me and Brayton Kane, B. Kane, were talking about one day, like your parents, what the beer that they drank is like almost, because my dad drank Coors Light. Brayton drinks Miller Lite. So it's like, and his dad drank Miller Lite. And then we were talking to another guy, his dad drank Miller Lite, so he drinks Miller Lite. So it's like almost like a generational, like
thing.
Like there's something special about, not that I don't like Busch or like Miller or like any of those other beers, but it's like, to me, a Coors Light is special. Like it's like I would prefer Coors Light over any beer.
Well, that's good. And my parents never really drank beer. My parents didn't
Willy's
drink
breaking the
at
mold.
all.
Okay, so what would your beer
But
be?
my beer is Coors Light, and I have a lot of symbolic moments with Coors Light, and I think that, you know, you and I have shared this. Whenever there's like a special occasion kind of a beer, it's usually like, not special occasion, but like right after we went skydiving, we had a Coors Light, you know, and that's just like, you know, we went to the Rockies game, Coors Light. It just has this nostalgia to it. It tastes good compared to others. My honorable mentions, PBR and Mickey Ultra.
Let's give tiers here. Let's give 3 tiers.
Yeah, 3 tiers.
3
of
tiers.
beer.
Like 3 levels. Let's go 3 levels of like your top 3. Like 3 is this, 2 is, we all know each other's number 1, so I guess we could go 2 and 3. But
Okay.
what about you? B, start us out.
So, I mean, obviously, Busch is my number 1. I am fond of the Silver Bullets. They're a good beer, flow well. I'd probably say that would probably be my number 2. And if I were to pick 3 out of like the college, the cheap beers, we're not going to throw in the the higher flyers
Okay.
of them all.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Yeah.
Got to stick with the cheap beers. It's not Bud Light. Can't give it to Bud Light. I might go Michelob. I guess I'd go Michelob. Then I'd probably say Miller and then Bud at the bottom.
You put Miller in your top 3?
No. Miller at my 4. If I can
So
only think of
Coors
5
and
off the
Mickey.
top. of my head.
Oh, Coors, Mickey, then Miller, Bud. Oh, gotcha. That makes more sense. Okay.
So for me, Coors Light, Silver Bullet, Mountains Are Blue, number 1. Number 2 of college beer. We're talking here. What we would drink, like if we're going to the liquor store, we're gonna buy this beer. If Coors is run out,
Liquor Shack.
the Liquor Shack.
Case you can get for under a reasonable $22.
Under a reasonable $22. I would probably go Mickey, number 2. Probably. Either that, okay, 2A, Mickey, 2B, probably Bush. Because Bush, you can't beat the price of Bush, I will say. And like
For
once
what
you
it
start,
is. It's
for
no
what it
Hams.
is,
It's a
like
significant
I can
step
get
up from
behind. I
Hams.
haven't always been behind Bush, but like now recently, like I'm starting to see it. Like it's cheap. I like their brand, their marketing.
Oh, that's
It's
huge.
good, and like that's big to me. Like I know this for you guys too, but like the marketing, like it's just top tier. So 2A, 2B, Bush, Mickey. Number 3. One of the more, not expensive college beers, I would say probably, but like nostalgic to me because this is what like I first started drinking when I was a young lad was Bud Light. Bud Light. It's a good beer. It is. It's a sweeter beer. The taste is a little bit more sweeter, and like now that I'm like starting to like drink, like progressively more and more. Like obviously as we get older, like a lot of older people don't drink Bud Light. Like they kind of shit on it, and like I'm starting to understand why, but like still like I'm in my youth. I like Bud Light. Like if I'm going somewhere like a concert or something, like I can drink I can drink a Bud Light. It's more expensive than Coors or Bush or Mickey. I mean Mickey's pretty damn expensive too, but I would put probably Bud Light behind Mickey and the Bush.
And then for me, I already said mine. Coors, Mickey, PBR. I do like Bush. But when I if I'm going to a bar, long day at work, you need an appetizer, a beer on draft. I'm getting an IPA every single time. I mean, there's not if I'm coming in just to sit down at a table and get a beer, IPA. Bell's, the Hazy Janes. They're so to me. I love that. It's heavier. The taste it really goes well with some pretzel bites or breadsticks from Kilroy's, and I like IPAs. Do you guys like IPAs?
I would say that I tend to stray away from them. I've given several tries, and it's just not quite for me. It's a little heavier, but I will say when it comes to restaurants, like if I'm sitting down at a restaurant, like I actually went to Texas Roadhouse last night. I'll tell you, I am starting to stray away from beer in general. And
Whoa.
now,
Whoa, Sonny.
I pride myself here,
Simmer it
I
down.
like my beer. But from a financial perspective,
Okay.
they charge $6 for a 16-ounce Coors Light on draft.
This is
Or
true.
you could spend $8 and get a drink that you can't really get anywhere else.
Like what? Like a margarita?
Margaritas or like other
Okay.
sort of mixed drinks that they have. Stuff that's like, a house special.
Yeah.
That to me, and then that's part of why I've tried to drink IPAs because it's more of you can find local beers.
Local brews. Oh, yeah.
But personally, I haven't found a taste in them yet. But no, I would just rather, I know where I can get beer. I know how much I can get beer for. So when I go out, I like to change it up a little bit.
Mm.
No, I respect that. I think IPAs are good. Like I could sit down and definitely drink a good IPA. Like
It all
with
depends
food.
on the setting.
And
too.
like if I'm at a bar, or like at a setting where I'm eating food, I'm like not trying to get absolutely hammered, then I would probably just drink like a hazy Jane, like local stuff. Like we went to Colorado, we got like I think it was Westbound and Down IPA.
Yeah, Westbound.
Westbound and Down. A good IPA with food. I mean, you can't really beat it. But like obviously, if I had to prefer a beer, it would probably be like something cheaper.
What's
But-
your go-to drink at the bar?
All right, I'll go first on this one. So, walking to a bar, pretty buzzed. First thing you do is get a Vegas bomb, right? I think we can all probably agree on that. Vegas bomb. And then recently what my go-to has been is a vodka lemonade. Can't go wrong. It's a little mixy. Depending on where you go, how drunk you are, the bartenders usually pour it. At Broad Ripple, they pour it strong. Like, they pour them strong. But I used to be a vodka Red Bull guy.
Yeah.
But that's basically a Vegas bomb. Like a vodka Red Bull is basically a Vegas bomb. So you take a Vegas bomb, and then you're drinking on a vodka Red Bull. It just doesn't sit right with my tummy anymore. So I've been going vodka lemonade. That's probably my go-to, a shot vodka lemonade, and then you're cruising on vodka lemonades the rest of the night. Because I can't go vodka lemonade then beer and then cranberry vodka. I can't do that.
You can't be mixing them.
Can't be mixing up the liquors. So
anymore.
once I start on the vodka lemonades, I'm cruising for the rest of the night.
Do you want to go or you want me to
No,
go?
you got it, man.
So I would say that I don't often get mixed drinks, but I've started working as a bartender recently. I've had some other options start to come across my table. One thing that I like where I work, we call it a zipper. It is lemonade, Sprite, and vodka. Just gives it a little more of a little spice to it.
Can I tell a story real quick about this? So we were at Rock Lobster and Broad Ripple last weekend. This is like one of the few things I actually remember. So we walk in, and I feel like this is probably within we're pretty buzzed. It was early, and we walk in, and like we've had a few drinks, and we walk up to this bartender, and like it's slammed, and like Brendan's like, "Can I get a zipper?" And this bartender just looks at you like, what in the hell did you just ask me for? He's like, a zipper, man. Like, I don't know. Could I just get a zipper? And he's like, what the fuck is a zipper? And then, I don't remember what happened after that, but it was hilarious because the bartender was like, what? Well, I don't even know what you're saying right now.
I was told when I started working there at the bar that I work at that because it's at a country club. I was told that
very high class, Brendan. Very
country club.
I was told that it's
Country
more
club.
of a for that club. Like it's just kind of a them thing. They call it a zipper. But thought I'd test my odds, and then for the life of me, I just couldn't pull the ingredients out of my ass when I was put on the spot.
That was hilarious.
But either that, or I would say usually I kind of follow the same suit as you, John. But I've started going with the 2 Vegas bombs, especially if we're at like a rock lobby kind of place where drinks are $3 from 10 to midnight. Just starts the night off right.
Shout out Rock Lobster.
Yeah, shout out Rock Lobster.
It's the place, man.
They 10 to 12. It makes the Uber ride worth it. I tell you, when you got 2 hours of $3 drinks, I'd rather go there than save $5 on an Uber to Brothers in downtown. It's the place. It's a nice sound.
Crack it cold. That's what we do here. It's what we do.
What's your go-to? You didn't tell us. Let the people know.
Well, Vegas bomb at first. And, of course, vodka Red Bull without the straw. Please and thank you.
Why without the straw?
Here's why I
Just-
don't like
just explain
straws.
to me.
Yeah,
You
give
know,
us a rundown.
Straws, man, first of all, they're plastic. The turtles, bro. That's
The
one
turtles,
thing. That's one thing.
You lost me there.
But
keep
the
going.
most important thing is that it makes you look like a girl.
Explain.
I think that when you're sipping out of a straw, it's unsettling. It's not very manly to me. I'd rather grab that cup with my hand, take a nice good swig of it, and
Swallow.
even you can control how much you can really pour it back, throw it back. Take a little sip. It's up to you.
So you prefer to
This-
throw it back when you're at the bar?
Yeah, I throw it back. I throw it back real good, actually.
So the straw, do you ask for it without
especially
the straw?
after leg day,
Do you ask for it like you're like, don't give me the straw? Because what I do is I'll take it out. And throw
Yeah, well, sometimes they don't hear me. Sometimes I'll take it out, leave it on the counter.
it. Yeah.
And
I
that
think there
takes away
was-
from the turtles.
I think there was
Yeah, I
one
saved the turtles,
time
apparently.
that I think I was ordering a drink for you and and we set it up on the counter, and she didn't hear me. She put 2 straws in it.
That drove Willy crazy.
I take the straws out and I sit him on no, I'm a polite guy. Like, again, I'm not going to be up in arms. I took the straws out and set them on the counter. And I look away, and she notices that there's no straws in it. She thought she forgot. Puts 2 more in. And I was like, chill out here. So I take those out, immediately take them off the counter. But yeah, I mean, I don't want a straw in my drink, man. You will never catch me with a straw in my drink. There's not a singular picture out there. I don't think.
All right. Do some research here.
If you can find
Do
one.
some research.
Yeah, do some research. If you can find a picture of me with a straw in my drink, I will give you $50.
Wow. Okay.
You gave me a mission.
50 bones.
50. I'll give you $50 if you can find an alcoholic drink. I'm not talking about a B-dubs with a Coke or water or something. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, without the straw, man. Without the straw.
Would you rather have... trying to think of the right way to put this. Because paper straws. What are your thoughts on paper straws? Because you're talking about saving the turtles.
I mean, look, man. Was mostly just adding that on to my argument. The paper straws, sure, they're good for the turtles, but they're dog
They
shit.
like dissolve in your mouth.
They're
absolutely terrible.
They're soggy. They make your drink taste worse. Gets on your tongue. Paper straws are not. Just go without it. Go without a straw, man.
For me personally, I can't quite comprehend why we're making the straw paper instead of the cup.
Yeah.
Why are we putting paper straws into plastic cups? The cup's a lot more plastic than the straw is.
Every time I go to Panda Express and I get a soft drink, I don't put a lid or a straw in it. Every time.
That's doing just as much good.
Yeah, right. I'm a good guy. I don't even try to be, man. But,
It's kind of happens.
Just happens naturally.
The turtles, they need to be saved, man. These little turtles, I'll tell you. One thing, those little 6-packs you get of cans or something, and it's got the plastic on top. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The plastic that holds them
the
together.
rings.
Yeah, the little rings. Like, you're supposed to cut those, right? Have you ever seen Surf's Up? Surf's Up?
Oh, yeah.
Is it Surf's Up or is it Happy Feet?
Penguin get stuck in one?
That's Happy Feet.
That's Happy Feet,
It's
bro.
Happy Feet?
John knows
I
all
thought it
about
was
Happy
Surf's
Feet.
Up.
Yeah. I don't fuck with Happy Feet.
Oh, man, yeah. JJ will cry.
That goes into
during
deep
Happy
waters.
Feet, man.
That goes into deep waters.
Why do you cry during Happy Feet, John?
Well-
What are you, huh? Are you a girl? Why
Well,
are you getting so emotional, man?
you can't say that. It's 2022, bro.
Yeah, bro.
First
I
of
don't
all,
care.
Happy Feet,
Unfiltered.
Happy Feet, fantastic movie. But like the scene, which I haven't watched it in like probably 5 years, so it could be different now. But I was what'd that be?
17?
17.
16, 17?
16.
You could drive.
I was, had my license. I was grown.
John. Oh, John.
And I thought I was over it. And it's just a scene where, like, if you guys know, I forget his name, the main penguin, basically, like, gets down in this little crevice. And, like, this dude's getting bullied the entire movie, man. Like, he's getting bullied because he can't sing. And then he runs, basically, he's, like, running away because his own parents don't even like him. So, like, he's in this little divot. And these owls are just coming in, trying to get him and kill him. And, like, he's just sitting there crying. And he's just, like, getting bullied by these. I mean, it's just like a roller coaster of emotion just, like, poured into one scene. And then it just gets me, bro. It just gets me. Like, call me what you want. Say what you want about me. Like, but we all have that one movie. Do we not?
Oh, yeah.
Of,
yeah.
like, you just get emotional. Like, I could watch Marley and Me and be fine. And, like, I feel like a lot of people will say that about Marley and Me.
I still
or
haven't
like
even seen that movie. I know what happens.
other movies, but, like, I could watch that and not shed a tear. But for some reason, that particular scene in Happy Feet is just so sad to me.
For me, it's Bridge to Terabithia.
Yeah. That's another
movie.
Sad.
Gets me every
Yep.
time.
Dude, that
Can't
is
help
a sad movie.
But even that, like, I can watch that and not cry. It's like it just pokes a button in me. It just pokes the heartstrings, pulls on the heartstrings of. I don't know, man.
What about you, Willie?
You know,
What
I don't
movie
cry.
jerks your tears?
I don't
You don't
cry
cry?
ever.
Ever?
Never.
Never.
You know,
Just a straight up man.
no, I can't say that I've really cried during a movie before. Though.
Ever?
I
Never.
don't think I ever have.
You're not
Like I
invested.
do get very, very emotional during movies. I will say I'm not gonna deny that. I don't think I've ever came to tears though. And a lot of times, like I love movies. I love the way that makes you feel, whether it's sad, happy, funny, whatever. Like, and yeah, I've definitely been sad during movies. I think the Titanic, honestly, the Titanic
Really?
made me really like. I was really invested because you just see this story of young Leo, and he's like. He just doesn't belong in the setting that he's in, but yeah, he proves himself, and then at the end, obviously, all know what happens,
Would
It's
you
kinda
say
sad.
that movies or music affect you emotionally more?
I have to say music because if you watched a movie without music, you wouldn't feel the same way. So it's definitely the music, and then the aid of having the movie with it. But I can
But so do
definitely
you
sit
say
in my
that-
car, listen to a song, and feel very emotional.
But so that's what I'm
100%.
saying, I guess. Like, obviously, the music's included as part of the movie, but like,
Yeah.
does the visual add to it, or does it almost take away
It
from
adds to it, I think, for sure.
I think visual does add to it, but like I could easily, like you said, sit in my car and just, or like on the drive home, like during a sunset, like turn on a good song and feel.
Because
like,
then you're left with just your thoughts, and it's all about you. It's very personalized.
personalized,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
very, and I think that's the greatest thing about music and poetry and literature in general is that when you hear it, it's to you.
Yep.
It speaks to you, and like that's what I like about it. And it gives
Yeah.
you a chance to relate to others, because they might have a similar feeling, but it's not the exact same, but you can still talk about it. It really brings out your emotions.
And that's a big reason why John and I we're working on a project.
Mhm. We are. Let them know. Let them know.
No release date set yet, but
Single coming soon.
yeah, there will be a single dropping,
Yours truly.
hopefully on Apple Music.
Dude, JJ can play the guitar, man.
Thank you.
He told me he was learning to play the guitar a little bit, and then I was like, dude, that's awesome. I want to hear you sometime. Never got around to it. We go to the lakes over the 4th of July. He pulls out his guitar and just goes to town. I'm like, wow, he's pretty good. He sings too. Yeah. And Brendan over here, Brendan knows how to write the songs. I've seen his notebook. He writes, some solid stuff. You put these two together, I don't even want to know what could come out of that.
You're looking the Indiana-Illinois line right here.
Yeah. That is some-
Indiana, Illinois line.
Some Midwestern,
Yeah.
good old fashioned, from the heart, man.
Music's fun, man. Like it's enjoyable. Like even just
It is.
listening, like it's just a good time. Like sitting around a campfire, and like the thing for me is I only care about is everyone else having a good time. You know what I mean? Like I want to play songs that people care about and that people know. And like if everyone else is having a good time, then who really? If I'm playing good or bad, who cares? But
You got to tell me this story. You were saying how DJing with your cousin
oh,
high school.
yeah.
Just like, what's that like? Just being, and JJ, you're usually on aux. Like, you usually play the songs. Like, what is, define that? Like, what does that mean to you?
It's like you're controlling. It's like you're at a concert and you're controlling the crowd. It's like I love that feeling for whatever reason of like the pressure is on you
Yeah.
to perform,
Yeah.
and everyone's looking forward to what's coming next. So, and there's times where like you play a shitty song and everyone's like, okay, come on, like I don't want to listen to this. But like I look at it as almost like a job. Like you get better from that. Like because I DJ'd this prom, Jay County prom, and I played a country song that nobody wanted to hear, and they started booing me. But to make up for it, it was but like around the time when like Tatiana, that song, Bust Down Tatiana,
Yeah.
that song was like coming out, and all the teachers were like, they came up to me and they were like, okay, like you can't play this song. Like me and my cousin were DJing. They're like, okay, you guys just don't play it. Everyone's gonna want to hear it. Don't play it. And so I played that country song, And nobody wanted to hear it, and they started booming. I was like, fuck, all right. So I look at my cousin. I'm like, we got to do it. Like, we got to. And so basically we played Tatiana. Everyone's like, yeah. And we all just started going crazy. And like that feeling to me is like, it's an empowering feeling, and it makes you like, you're in control. It's like you're in control of, these people and like, what they want to hear.
All these little high schoolers
were like coming up to me like, please play it. Like, you got to play it. I'm like, I can't. Like, I just can't. And then eventually I was like, just dropped it on them. And it's fun. Like, I just enjoy doing it. Like, I enjoy people seeing people having a good time because of like what I'm doing. So, yeah.
How far is Schmuck golf course?
Probably 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
But
Ron said he's
Detling's going to be there in like 20.
minutes.
We got a tee time about
we should probably
51.
wrap
They might let us on early if we get there with since it might rain.
Yeah.
If there's no one else
Honestly,
there.
it'd probably be smart.
Yeah.
Go hit some
Man, no,
golf.
this isn't the end.
No.
This is the taking off point.
Never.
See you soon.
We'll be back soon enough.
Sooner or later.
Willie, I want to know your wise words of wisdom before we leave.
Wise words.
You're about to leave us. Like we've been telling you, we hope that all this goes well for you. But while we're here, what is your advice to us, to me, John, and the rest of the bushel?
Like while you're here at home?
While we're here at IUPUI, some of us have 1 year left, some have 2. Jared might have 3.
Yeah. It's kind of a big question, but like first of all, I think you guys are already doing it. I think you're both working really hard, which is important. John, with your program, you're in it, you're going. Brendan, you're working your tail off. Just keep doing that. Like as long as you guys are moving and doing your thing, you're gonna be successful, right? But also too, like slow down, enjoy the moment. You'll never get this back. But yeah, I mean, you guys are killing it. That's why we're such good friends. I care about work ethic a lot. I think that's the number one thing. Which is why for me, like, I've kind of felt guilty this past few weeks because I haven't been as busy as I'm used to, and it's tough. So,
well, I think that's one more thing with us three in particular, and we've had moments like this before. We've had moments of just the three of us where we're ambitious, the three of us. We don't hold back. I've seen like TikToks and stuff in that movie Inside Out. They talk about like the core memories. Like the three of us were out on the beach during a tropical storm, and we were just taking the waves head on. And I knew that if anything happened to me, or if anything happened to either of you, the other two would do anything they could to help the other one out. And it made me feel safe and secure in being out there.
Yeah. It's good times, man.
In a tropical storm. Who knows?
Go-getters. Be a go-getter.
Man.
Go after it. Just chase your dreams. Why not, man? Why not?
What do you got to lose?
Got anything else for us, Willie? Signing off.
Yeah, I think I spoke all the wisdom I have.
That's all I've got, folks.
I think I let it all out.
It's a short list.
Small number.
No, yeah, just keep it up. I mean, like, gosh, work hard. Have a plan. Be strategic. Think ahead. Think futuristically. Like, that's kind of, like you want to be in the moment, but have a plan. And you guys have a plan. You know what you're doing. So,
got plenty.
And make sure you FaceTime me every hour of the day for the next 6 years. That'll work too.
I'll think about it. Just kidding. I'll FaceTime you sometimes.
Yeah, I'm gonna decline it.
If I really just feel like it, like if I have nothing else going on in my life, I'm like, man, I should probably call God. No, I'm just kidding. I'll FaceTime you all the time.
Yeah. From the new crib.
Unfortunately. You should be there.
Yeah. Crack it cold, boys. Let's go play some golf.
Links up.